and you're watching our 5th day of virtual brewery tours. My name is Don Littlefield. I'll serve as your guide today. I am the general manager of the Maine Brew Bus, and along with my production help assistant at his home studio, Greg Klein, we are putting together this virtual brewery tour. This is about the 10th one that we've done, which is pretty amazing since we started just 5 days ago. Our special guest today is Island Dog Brewing. Island Dog is in South Portland, Maine. They are fairly close to this road, and we're going to be joined momentarily by Jim Dens and Tim Francis of Island Dog. And right on cue, hello, Tim.
How's it going, Don? How you doing
Good.
today?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Now, that's a man who read instructions. He's got his headphones, he's got his audio, he's got his beer, he's got everything ready to go.
That's right.
How's it going today?
It's going. We're doing the best we can in the circumstances.
Beautiful. Give me a second to just say a couple of things. For those of you who are joining us, if you have any questions or comments or want to heap praise upon Island Dog, you can do so right at the bottom of the screen on the lower left where it says comment. Put that right in there, and Greg Klein, who's producing this, is going to collate those for me and let me know the best ones, so make them good, make them laugh. We are also sponsored by CarHop, who is a partner with Island Dog. So carhopme.com is a locally owned and operated website where you can order your beer and wine and spirits to be delivered to your home. And if you use code BREWBUS, that's BREWBUS, at carhopme.com, you'll save 50% off your delivery fee. And you can pre-order now. So even if you're not ready for beer, but you know you're going to be ready for beer on Friday, you can pre-order now and say, I want my Island Dog to be delivered for 5 p.m. when you get home from work. It will be there ready for you. So that's it. How are you doing with everything going on? How's it going today?
Doing pretty good, actually. We got, like you said, with CarHop. We just started with CarHop this week, so that's something new for us. We're doing sales online, so we're doing online. Just go to our website. We have a beer store.
You have a beer store? That's crazy.
We do, on our website, so islanddogbrewing.com. And just you can order online. It comes right through to our phones, actually, which is kind of cool. It tells us the order.
Nice.
And then we'll bring it right out to your car for you, or we can set a designated spot outside.
Outstanding.
So that's kind of cool.
What are you enjoying in your glass, my friend?
My glass, let me see if I can turn it around for you. My glass is our toasted dog. It is our toasted coconut and chocolate imperial stout, 10.8% alcohol, and it is delicious. It's one of my favorite beers. It's absolutely perfect. So,
10.8?
Yes.
Beautiful. I also have a heavy hitter in my glass. I didn't get any of your beer delivered. I apologize. I'll take care of that another day. But I have from some. I have a little bit of Big Whoop left, so I'm enjoying that. That's it's pretty hefty. I think it's 9.8 or something like that. So sure. Let me first offer you a cheers to the dark stuff today.
Not sure of you.
Cheers.
Yeah, some is friends of ours, so we're good with that. So
outstanding. Yeah, I'm actually officially quarantined since I traveled to Ireland last week, so I don't even feel comfortable and probably and I'm not able to just do curbside pickup. But CarHop Me has been a big a lifesaver there for me and for a lot of people, so that's great. Let's go. Let's talk about, Tim, for those who don't know the backstory of Island Dog, tell me how all of this got started.
Oh, long story. No, so basically...
We get time.
Yeah, basically, partner Jim and I, we met actually at a brew fest of all places about 6 years ago or so. We were both home brewers. We started talking about beer. And then I tried his beer and I stopped home brewing because he made way better beer than me. That's a good story I love to tell. But no, he really made really great beer. So I was like, wow, how are you doing this? So as things came along and we were talking about the brewing industry, the laws in Maine changed that we could have a tap room with a brewery. Prices of equipment started coming down as we started thinking about it. We said, what do we want to do for the rest of our lives? You know, we want to brew beer. Do we want to do something like this? And that's kind of how the idea came. Probably about 4.5, 5 years ago, we started thinking about it full. And we've been open now for 2.5 years. We opened June of 2017. So it's been just about 3 years we've been open, almost 3 years we've been open, but we've been thinking about this for about 5. So.
Yeah. Well, don't forget the part of the story, which is the market research aboard a brewery tour bus. I think that was pretty important to see the inner workings.
Jim's story. Jim and his wife went through on a brewery tour on a brew bus, and basically they started talking to all the brewers, and somebody said, or I guess Jody had asked Jim, why can't you do this? You know, and they asked everybody, they're all home brewers when they started, so Jim being a master home brewer, he was like, I guess I could start something like this. So
nice.
That is our story.
That's your story. How did you and Jim meet originally?
I actually worked with his wife at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield years ago. We had mutual friends, and it was just one of those things where I'd always heard of Jim being a home brewer. Like, do you know Jim? It's like, no. Do you know Tim? No. And you guys are both home brewers. You should meet. So kind of we had, just mutual friends. So we kind of were in the same circles. We just had never met before until we went to this brew fest in Portland at the old Portland company. There was one of those brew fests there. And it's like, hey, Jim, Tim, here you guys go. And then as we started talking beer right away, the wives were like, you guys go talk over there and we'll hang over here. So that's how it kind of all started. So that's still happening 7 years later, I'm afraid. It is. And the wives are like, okay, more about beer. But
nice.
Yeah. So.
We want to say hi to a couple of folks who have joined us here at Kinsman Brewing. They're down in Connecticut. Our friend Bob Bartholomew is a former Brewbus employee and head brewer down there. Funky Bo, who joined us over the weekend, they have tuned in to hear your story. And we want to say hi to From Beer Until Eternity, which seems like a fitting handle right now. So
From Beer to Eternity.
Yeah, why not? Sure. So how do you describe Island Dog? What is your focus in brewing? What are the styles that you are producing?
We like to produce German-inspired beers are pretty much how we started, but we like to try everything. So we have everything from imperial stouts to porters to saisons, Belgian strongs. We have a brown, we have IPAs. So really we try every style. We're doing a Goza right now. We have one in the fermenter, our St. Hubbins series. So anything we could possibly do, we want to try to impress ourselves and try something new. So if it's something we like, basically, if we don't like the beer, we won't sell it. That's kind of been our mantra. If it's not good enough to sell, we won't sell it.
It would be easier to just make the same style beer over and over and over again, but that is not what a home brewer ever does, and that's certainly not what a pro brewer should be doing. So that way you have different flavors and different styles for different folks. And so how loyal are your fans? How excited are they when you come up with new beers and new styles?
Pretty excited. People ask us to do new beers for them. So one of the things we're doing with our St. Hubbins series, which is a Goza, we originally had a black currant Goza that came out last time. Our newest one is going to be a cranberry Goza. So we're kind of doing the same exact recipe. We're just kind of changing up the flavor of the fruits, just to make sure that they're just to try something different to see how it is. It'll still have that nice tartness to it being Goza, that little saltiness, little sweetness on the end. And then next time we might try different fruit. So everything in that series, we're doing basically series with our beers now. So if we have a beer name, we're trying within that realm of that type of beer, just try something just slightly different to see how that comes out.
What is St. Hubbins referring to?
This is Spinal Tap. If I have to explain it to you, you don't meet the age requirement.
It's not for me. It's for people that are watching and listening. We need to explain it for them.
So Jim and I try to make ourselves laugh. That's what we do a lot. And so we'll come up with all different kinds of crazy ideas. And we're trying to think of the name of this beer. And so we thought, we were looking things up. And a lot of beers like, Turn It Up to 11, which is the Spinal Tap reference, has been used a million times. So we're like, what else can we do? So as we started joking around, it came up with David St. Hubbins. He was the patron saint of quality footwear. And this is Spinal Tap. You got to watch the movie. If you're below 50 years old, you probably haven't seen it. But that became the thing. And then as we started joking, it just became this thing of naming it St. Hubbins. So it's definitely one of those things where we're just trying to make ourselves laugh when we come up with names. So that's why we're Island Dogs. So when we have things like Toasted Dog or Tipsy Dog, there's always a reference somewhere in there that we're trying to make ourselves laugh.
You get the dog side squared away, but it's a fine line between stupid and good beer names. So
that is true, and it's harder and harder to come up with good beer names because the biggest thing with brewers now is going on to Untapped first, and you go,
sure.
Has somebody else had it? And somebody's had that name. So
I came up with an idea last week when I was in Ireland. They still were doing horse racing, and horse names are a really good source for beer names. It seemed like. Because those are pretty creative, witty, and punny. There's seemingly an endless treasure trove of horse names that you could appropriate, but you're not Island Horse, so that probably wouldn't work great for you.
Right. Island Dog is still we have some ideas on Island Dogs, so hopefully the next couple of years we'll have some more creative names with the dogs.
Nice. Andy Gold Keys says, we know St. Hubbins, and some smiley faces and LOLs, I believe. Portland on Tap has joined us, as has Pure Ivy, our friend Matthew H. Brown. We're talking with Tim Francis. He's part of the operation called Island Dog Brewing. It's over in South Portland on John Roberts Road. They're very much open Wednesday through Sunday. We'll talk about the hours in a little bit, but let's talk about how this has progressed. So when did you first realize that there were going to be significant business implications, and what did you do initially to react?
Well, it started happening about 3 weeks ago. I was actually in Ohio, and we were in Ohio when they started closing bars down there, breweries down there. So we were going out to breweries on vacation and going, wow, people are telling us that they were closing. So I started getting in touch with Jim, and we thought that this wouldn't be as impacted as it is. That was the whole thing. 3 weeks ago, nobody knew how impacted it would be with schools closing and everything else closing. So,
did you think that way because it's Maine and it's kind of rural, or did you?
Kind of that, but just from the general news information out there, nobody really knew. And so, when was last time that the governor or the president called for all these places to be closed? Not my lifetime. It's been quite a while since I've seen something of this magnitude. So you don't expect it in your lifetime that this is going to happen. So, but as soon as that started happening, Jim started getting on the phone. We started talking to, suppliers, what we could do. We were trying to figure out how to run the tap room. So, you have to come up with a COVID-19 set of rules. We're going to clean everything after you come in, and we're going to, wash your hands, wear gloves, and things like that. So little things like that we never, ever would have had to have thought of before. I mean, as you know, we keep this place super duper clean, turnkey every single day. We are anal about cleaning here. And just to do that extra step of, making sure people aren't coming in and touching things or cleaning the tables and stuff right after they leave. That's something that we've been on it right from the beginning. So that's been different. And then trying to figure out how you can sell your beer. We can't let people into the brewery. People have to pull up to the curb. We have to do the takeout orders to Car Hop. So all those things are new to us, and we're like everybody else. We're just trying to figure out how it's going on. Figure it out as we go along, I guess.
Our guest tomorrow is Nathan Sanborn, and I like what he's been saying, which is every day you're reinventing your business again. It's new challenges, new changes, and it's a whole new ball game the next day. All of a sudden you realize, hey, we could do it this way. Let's give that a shot. And then you can change it tomorrow if need be. So
sure, and that's true. We were actually looking going into March and April that we had a really jam-packed taproom schedule. We have trivia on every other Thursday that we're doing themed trivia. We had a beer and whoopie pie tasting that was almost sold out when this all first started. That's been postponed to May 21st now, hoping everything goes well with that.
Sure.
But all these little type events that we've been working on, we had a couple bachelorette parties and all these things that had just been pre-scheduled, and then all those went ping, 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 ping right out to the point of you can't have people in your tap room. So you have to kind of compensate for that or try to figure that out. So
do you know offhand, prior to all of these issues, about what percentage of your beer was sold through your tap room? I guess I'm talking draft, but
Jim would know the numbers specifically. But I would say probably, good probably 50 to 60% of our beer sales were through the tap room. So, that hurts when it comes to that. But
and the events were key too. We see Jamie May is in. She says that's a talented trivia host that you have hosting your trivia.
Sure. No. Hey, Jamie. She is our
Jamie.
host.
Exactly.
She's the talented part of the pair of trivia hosts we have. Her husband.
And she now has corrected the spelling on talented, so that's good. So let's talk about the new Island Dog, where you're at today. How are you handling guests that want to pick up beer from your facility?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, we just signed on with Car Hop, so that'll be something new coming in. Right now, we have it all set up. The cool thing with Car Hop is it actually gives us the orders on our cell phones. So I can actually just go on an app, look at what orders come in. It's right there. We're doing, like I said, we have a beer store on islanddogbrewing.com. And so you can go on and order your beer, and then it's ready to go. We'll have it ready for you. We'll bring it to the curb. Either give us a call into the tap room, or you just go ahead and give us a honk, because we got windows in the front. We can see you. We actually got a little table set up so you can watch people pulling in.
Nice.
People have to call us. It is 207-747-5258. And we're now taking those phone orders. So we've had people that have given us a call, said, hey, I'm in the mall area, just stopping through. Can I get a 4-pack? Sure, we'll be more than happy to bring that up and bring it out to you. So those are our major things to do. It's kind of tough with all the restaurants being closed, because that's where a big portion of your beer goes out to. Our distributors still bringing to stores. We have central distributors out of Lewiston. They're still distributing to places like Hannaford and things like that. So that's still a source of revenue coming in, but it still kind of drops down when you don't have those customers coming into the actual tap room.
Yeah, I want to kind of cover that next, but we're talking with Tim Francis from Island Dog Brewing. He's got a brewery in South Portland. And my name is Don Littlefield. I'm your guide today on the virtual brewery tour. So, I know that Jim does most of the production schedules. And so what changes was he able to make? In other words, diverting beer away from kegs into cans, or deciding to make changes in the production schedule overall?
Sure. So that's a very good question. So we actually have 5 fermenters filled with beer right now. We have our canning line. We have a portable canner comes in for us. So we've scheduled that for April, so first week of April. So we're going to have them come in, and we're basically going to can almost everything now, since kegs aren't going out to restaurants. So that's been a big change for us. So we're going to be doing, where we typically do an X amount of cases, we'll probably be doubling the amount of cases we do, because it's almost all going to go into cans. That is huge. We've pushed back on a couple of our beers just to see how it pans out. There's no sense in and coming out with another beer if we can't, get that right into kegs or cans. So we're holding off on the other ones, but we have five ready to can. So as soon as we can get those in cans, we'll put them on the website. We'll get them in the Car Hop, and we'll be selling those cans out. So that's been the big thing. It's just it's the wait and see approach. We have enough beer to last us a while. Once we can it, it'll be good. We can keep selling that for a while. Just not getting the half barrels and the 6-barrels into restaurants is going to be the biggest change we have to make.
Yeah. Do you have some of those on hand that you're trying to sell as well? We've heard that story from a couple of breweries.
We actually are doing pretty well. We're still weighing that. If we a lot of them already went out, so we've been holding back on what we're doing, putting them in 6-barrels. We're leaving them in the fermenters until we can see what we can get out of the canning run.
Yep.
So hopefully we don't have to put too much into kegs at this point in time. We'll just do cans for takeout.
Yeah. Well, we are encouraging our viewers and listeners, if you're thinking about getting a kegerator, now's a good time, because there are deals to be had of beer that was in kegs that just needs to go so it doesn't go bad. So I'll give you, you've already kind of given us a walking tour by walking around, but I'll give you a warning. We're going to ask.
I could turn the camera on to the brewery. I thought it was all about me. There we go.
Yeah, why don't you mind starting at the front at the tasting room? And while you're moving over there, what I'll say is that we bring our guests here. They're very close to the main mall, but they are not on a foot trafficked area. They're not a place that you see. They're around the back of their building at 125 John Roberts Road. So we have our guests who are like, where are we? Where are we going? And we pull up in front of their glass doors, and they're like, oh my goodness, this is cool. Look, it's a brewery. It's like a little oasis over here.
There's Jim. There's our partner Jim waving right now. So.
Hi, Jim. How are you? Good to see you.
So, so this is our tap room. So we have a pretty large tap room, as you can see from the front. Got a large bar area. We always have TVs going, always something fun going on. We got cornhole and giant Connect 4. We just added this really cool little cozy corner where we actually have Nintendo and retro Atari. So it's actually pretty cool with a couch and a chair, which is probably, since last time you were in, Don, you probably didn't see that before.
No, I've seen pictures of that on social media. I didn't know where it was. So
it's right in this corner. Fun. Yeah. And then we got a pickup guitar if you're a musician, you want to hang out with your friends. Is that not focusing right? That's kind of weird.
It'll get there.
Let's see what we do. Yeah. There
we go.
So we got
I was going to say, don't fret. It'll get focused.
You can pick it up and play anytime you want to play. So when we're going through our area, we are a 5-barrel system. We have 5-barrel brew house. We have 4 5-barrel fermenters and 3 10-barrel fermenters. We just put these 10 barrels in last June. This one is filled with our beer called Blueberry Wheat, which is extremely popular. We're gearing up for the summer. That should be a really popular thing. That will be canned very shortly. People have been asking us. We ran out of glue. We sold out, and people have been asking for it. So that's going to be a really, really big beer to have. Other 2 fermenters, big, large fermenters right here. Kegs aplenty right here.
Ready for the time.
Ready for whenever we're going to go. Holding off on brewing. We got some grains and stuff ready to go as soon as we brew our next batch. One of the things we did is we do have a cool keg washer, which saves us time. As a lot of people know, basically the whole production operation is Jim and I. And Jim basically does back of house doing all the production, keg cleaning and things like that on his own. So going with a lot of technology that one person can do the job of many. We go to other breweries and people go, we have got 3 or 4 people doing this job, or or multiple people doing multiple jobs, and pretty much the back house is all Jim. So
nice.
And I've been focusing on the tap room and sales and marketing. So keg wash is big for us. Of course, our green mill. We have our mash tun right here. One of the things with us is that we do have a very large glycol system. And this glycol system is actually bigger than what we needed when we originally started, thinking that we're going to expand it sometime. And when we got the 3 10-barrel fermenters in, we didn't have to change our infrastructure. That stayed in place, and so we just kind of knew that we'd be expanding it sometime, so we went a little bit bigger. So then all we had to do was put in the new tanks, which is really kind of cool.
Very smart.
The glycol chiller that we have, we can run our brew kettle through when the beer goes from the brew kettle into the, I can't zoom back unless I stand back. But it goes from the brew kettle in through our heat exchanger. With that glycol running through the heat exchanger, we can instantaneously change our beer from 212 boiling beer into 70 degrees, which is about the average temperature that the yeast likes to be at when you're going to ferment it. The cool thing is when the glycol gets hot, it goes right back into our chiller unit, goes back into our glycol tank, and gets recycled. We never pour any water down the drain. It's always cycled back through. So it's really kind of cool enclosed system that we have. It saves us a lot of money in water.
That's great.
So we have our St. Hubbins, and I was telling you, that's coming up very shortly. Our Captain Tucker, clear cut cans, and our Atomic Dogs being recanned. So that's pretty cool. And then the last thing we usually do on the tour is that we have a little bit of automation, which is very unique for a 5-barrel.
This is a modern video game here. This is pretty high tech.
Yeah, so we can actually see each one of the fermenters has its own thermometer in the back of it. And basically, as the beer's in there, it's at a certain temperature. So when it's fermenting, we know what the temperature is. If it gets higher than what we program it for, the glycol will kick on and automatically cool that down. We have unit tanks, so that the glycol runs through a little tubing inside the tanks. It will chill that down to the right temperature and keep it that way until we want to change it. Before we bring it all down to around freezing, around 32 degrees. That's all run by the automation as well. We can set that temperature, and then that we bring it down automatically. So we are anal about our beer. We check on it every day. But that helps us to be able to run this with basically a 2-man operation, or basically a 1-man operation with Jim doing all the brewing. So it is
That's not a tagline that sells, though. We're anal about our beer. That just doesn't work.
Well, you know what I mean. We really keep an eye on our beers. So.
I want to say hi to a few friends who have joined us here. I don't know Greg's Benedict, I don't think, but I love that name. I do know Josh Bankhead, Shay from both the Maine Brew Bus as well as Nonsuch River, your neighbors across the turnpike. Forever Blake says, love their saisons. K Smith 5995, when we showed Jim, said, that sexy bastard.
What?
So that seems like a plant right there.
Has someone been drinking today already?
I sure hope so. And Goonies never say die 826. We don't say hi because that's a fun name as well. That's a good one. So we're talking with Tim Francis of Island Dog. If you have any comments or questions for Island Dog, I see one got answered in the comments. There's a question about why cornhole got its name. It was answered by another participant because, well, those are bags filled with corn that go into holes. So there you go. So, and so if you have any questions or comments for Tim and for Island Dog, just put them in there. We've got about 5 minutes left or so. So the question that I'm going to ask you now, if you feel comfortable in answering, is how are you doing emotionally as a family? With your business relationship and with everything going on. How are you doing?
Sure, we're doing pretty good. We know that we'll come out of this. That's the big thing. Personally, it's kind of hit, in a few ways. My daughter was a senior in college. She'd already had 2 years at Mount Ida. They closed 2 years ago. And so she had to find a new school. She goes to this new school. She's a senior. Now she might not graduate, or walk with her class. That's kind of a weird thing. I have a brother who is an RN in Connecticut. He works in an ICU. So he, a couple weeks ago, was just helping old people up after surgery for hip replacements. Now he's working in an ICU. So that's kind of hit home there. And then I have a son who lives in Chicago. He's got a studio apartment. He's working from home in the studio apartment. And the whole city of Chicago is quarantined. So those things all come through, and you kind of go, well, it's not that bad, comparatively what other people are going through. So, but other than that, we're all holding in, and we expect this is going to, correct itself very, very quickly. In the sense that in the next couple months we'll see definitely falling, and things hopefully will start getting back to normal. But there's always hope, right? So.
Speaking of that, Lauren says, "Hi, Dad."
Hey, Lou.
Glad you joined us. Kcoin19 says Island Dog is the best. Amber Sunshine says hi from Ottawa. In the Society of Beer Drinking Ladies, they're in the Barley Angels chapter, which is pretty awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. And so we've had a bunch of folks that have joined us in the past few minutes. So let's go with, give us the elevator pitch when you're out in the sales front lines. What's your pitch about Island Dog, and why should people, come and visit and drink your beers?
Sure, because we're always trying something new. Our beers are classic. We don't try to reinvent the wheel with beer. It's beer. So everything that we do, we would never sell anything that we don't drink. That's our biggest thing. We won't just rename something and sell it. It has to meet our criteria for being drinkable. That's huge. And we're a very small operation. We're all about the quality. We're all about the experience. And that's, everything we want to do when we decided to become brewers is that to do this, we wanted to be 100% honest with our customer, and then have a perfect product all the time, keep it clean, and we want people to have fun. That's pretty much Island Dog.
Yeah. No, that's great. And when we do come out of this, we want people to come and visit. We want to bring them there in the brew bus. We want them to find their way to 125 John Roberts Road.
On the back side of the building.
Yeah, back side of the building. Just don't be alarmed. Just go to the back side of the building. Act like you own the place. Just drive right back there. Walk back there. Yeah, for sure. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 7. So they're open right now, which means you can order through Car Hop right now. They're also open Sunday, 12 to 5. As we mentioned, you can go to islanddogbrewing.com to the beer store, which is a fascinating new development in the past week, where you can order and pay for beer online. I imagine it can be paid for online, but you'll also take payment at time of pickup, correct?
We will. The governor, I guess, has been pretty much trying not to do the coming in and having to pay for it. So
Sure.
we prefer if you pay online, but if you had to come in, we can try to work something out. I can always take the phone payment over. I mean, a payment over the phone as well.
Yep.
So that's possible too. We've had people give us phone calls and just say, "Hey, I'm swinging by the Maine Mall area. I'll be in your area in 20 minutes or so. Can you get me these 3-4 packs? I take the credit card information on the phone, and you're good to go. We'll put the beer outside for you. Pick it up. I don't have to come anywhere near you." So
nice. That's good. Although you're a very likable man, so that is kind of sad. And as we mentioned, Car Hop, which is helping us with our programs here, carhopme.com. Use code BrewBus to save 50% off of your delivery fee. It's beer that's available from Island Dog and a dozen other breweries, probably even more than that. I haven't checked today because they've been gaining new accounts and new territories every single day. So just to cover some last things here, my brother Chris has joined. Hello, brother Chris. Andy Gold Keys says we can't wait to get on the brew bus. Amber Sunshine says we're coming as soon as things are back to the new normal.
Nice.
Glad to support small businesses. Abby's dad, 2006, joined. Our friend Kathy Fura from New Hampshire says hello, hi. And IPA Shay says blue on nitro, yummo.
Yeah, that'll be back out. So that's one thing with us is we try to do different things, and we have a nitrogen tap, so why not try to put everything on nitro? So every beer we come out with, at least 1/6 goes on nitro, and we'll try that. And the blue is definitely coming back on nitro. That is a great beer. Thanks, Shay.
Right. So absolutely. So nitro's not available in cans, so we got to wait for everything to get back to open and drafts poured in the tasting room before we get to that. So Island Dog's a really strong partner of the Maine Brew Bus, and appreciate you taking the time out to do this today. Hope it's been fun for you too.
It's been fun for us, and thanks, Don. We really appreciate all your support as well.
Absolutely. We can't wait to bring people back through those doors again. The last thing I'll say is that this has been a virtual brewery tour from the Maine Brew Bus because we cannot do in-person tours, and that will be sometime before we'll be able to do those. So if you like what you heard and what you saw, if you're watching online, then you can support us by going to www.themainbrewbus.com. At the very top of our webpage, we have a section called Virtual Brewery Tours, and we have a virtual tip bucket where you can throw in $5, $10, $20, whatever you'd like. If you enjoyed it, we never expect it. We always appreciate it. And we are matching, if you do a donation or if you do a gratuity of $100, we're matching that with a $100 gift card, which is good for a future tour, and it never expires. So we appreciate your support during this time because we do not have curbside pickup. We do not have takeout. We do not have delivery options. We are a tour company, and the only tours we have right now are on the internet. So your support is helpful at www.themainbrewbus.com. Greg's put it in the comments there. And with that, let me just take a final look. We've got a couple of last comments here. Bill Jr. 1980 says, thanks, guys. Much appreciated, which I agree. We got some emojis from Amber Sunshine, and that seems to be it. So on behalf of the Maine Brew Bus, thank you very much, Tim, for sharing your time and your space and your story with us. And we very much look forward to seeing you again in real life.
All right. We'll see you soon, bud. Thank you.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.